You know things are getting spicy in South African politics when Fikile Mbalula walks into a briefing and turns it into a boxing ring without gloves. And this time, it was the Workers' Committee meeting that became the stage for what I can only describe as one of the most entertaining and dramatic political showdowns in recent memory.
We stand as the legitimate representatives of our people, continuously renewing and strengthening our movement to uphold the will of the people. Zille's claims of introducing public-private partnerships to South Africa are nothing short of ludicrous. The ANC-led government has long pioneered cooperative projects that have led to the significant milestones, such as successful hosting of the 2010 FIFA World Cup and the development of the Gautrain, all achieved through effective planning and coordination under ANC leadership. To suggest otherwise is a transparent attempt to hijack the legacy of ANC-led governance for a party's political gain. In her remarks, Zille exposes her agenda to push herself into a position of undue influence within the GNU while undermining the ANC's foundational role. We need to make it very clear. If the DA want to leave the GNU, it's their call. They can leave tonight, they can leave tomorrow. Anytime they want to leave or they wish to leave, they can go. This divisive narrative lacks both historical truth and relevance to our current transformation efforts. Her intent is clear: to delegitimize the ANC's leadership and derail the transformative projects that are central to our national democratic revolution. However, these tactics will not deter us. The ANC remains resolute in delivering on its commitments. The ANC is very clear. Expropriation Bill, BELA Act, NHI are yet to stay. And when we're negotiating, right at the beginning, we didn't say when we're negotiating that the bills that have been passed by the National Assembly before the President should be reviewed and should not be signed. We don't have that agreement. The President has signed bills that have been duly passed by the National Assembly and the Council of Provinces. And then he signs them. And there are many before him. And those that are unconstitutional, based on the advice that he gets, he sends them back to Parliament. So these bills, there's nothing unconstitutional about them, and that's it. And we've got to address a number of issues. People have gone to court on the budget impasse. So we've got to address those issues on the table. Now, you want to accuse the ANC that it has chucked people out of the national cabinet. You are not saying that, but you are getting there. And you are interested to know what is the ANC position, and you want the ANC to dismiss anybody. Not the ANC. By the way, it's the prerogative of the President to dismiss people. That's what you want. Of course, you've got the right to do that. If I'm President and I've got ministers who are a law unto themselves on the basis of a political party affiliation, I've got to make up my mind as the CEO about how do I address this kindergarten in my cabinet. And that's what the President will apply his mind on. And he will engage with his ministers about their conduct. Because at the end of the day, anarchy must stop. It cannot go unabated. And then you cannot have them both at all times. That this side you want to be dominant, this side you want to be dominant. If you want to be dominant, then win elections outrightly and impose your wish and your will on what you want to do based on the will of the people. We understood that it was never going to be an easy journey, considering it is made up of role players diametrically opposed to us ideologically. But we expect discipline despite all this. We are now deeply concerned by the conduct of the Democratic Alliance, whose participation in the GNU has been marred by double dealing, negotiating and acting in bad faith and open disdain for transformation. While the GNU cabinet adopted 3 strategic priorities aligned with our manifesto, among others, and endorsed the medium-term development plan, the DA has simultaneously acted as an opposition force, opposing the BELA Act, the NHI, and the Land Expropriation Amendment. It seeks to divide government, confuse the public, and claim credit without assuming responsibility. This dishonesty undermines the very essence of collective governance. What do we mean by that? You are part of government, you are part of the executive. You don't represent a political party in the executive. You are running South Africa as a government, and it's a choice that you make as a political party to be part and parcel of government. You equally have a choice not to be part of government, but government is run by rules, and it governs all of us, even those who did not vote for us. Government has got to serve them. That is the nature of it. Of course, you might be participating in the government because you want to leverage your participation by showcasing that your ministers who come from your party can do better. Nothing wrong with that. The GNU remains a tactical instrument, a shield against chaos and fragmentation. However, its sustainability requires honesty, collective discipline, and loyalty to the people's mandate. In light of current developments, the Working Committee resolved that we will reset the button to engage with all political parties in the GNU, as well as those who are not in the GNU, to address the impasse with regard to the budget. We intend to do that within a period of 5 days to conclude the period of negotiations on the budget. We agree with a number of parties on a whole range of issues in relation to the budget. The only issue has been the question of VAT increase by those who wish to participate in the government of national unity. If they don't work, if the DA doesn't work, they will explain themselves why they are not working. So that's what they will have to explain. We have decided to stay. We are not working. Why? Because everything suggests that we are ready to walk to the moon. So why are we not working? They will explain why we are not working. Why should we explain that? When I decide to stay in a relationship, I decide that I love you or I love this process. You decide for the basic reason of love that I'm staying. I had second thoughts about you, but it's fine. I've decided to stay.
Mbalula didn't just raise a few concerns, no. He came in with verbal fireworks, directed straight at the DA, Helen Zille, and basically anyone who dared to challenge the ANC's stance on the new NHI BELA Bill. And folks, it's getting serious. The very future of the government of national unity, this shaky, uncomfortable alliance that we all knew had tension from day one, is now under the spotlight. Fikile Mbalula was not mincing his words. He sounded like a man who has had enough, and who clearly had a few things to get off his chest. Let's start with his comments about the DA's conduct. Phew. He basically told the DA to either get in line or get out. And I quote, well, paraphrase, if the DA wants to leave the NU, they can leave tonight. No long stories, no late night meetings, no mediation, just grab your coat, say your goodbyes, and walk out the front door. Can you imagine that WhatsApp group chat after the briefing? Probably pure chaos. But wait, it gets better. Helen Zille, the DA's Federal Council chairperson, apparently claimed that she introduced public-private partnerships in South Africa. And Mbalula, he went off. He called her out like she was trying to rewrite history. And he said it with that signature Mbalula flair, loud, dramatic, and entertaining. The man literally questioned her political legacy in front of the cameras and said, "You didn't introduce public-private partnerships, stop playing." I'm telling you, this wasn't just a political briefing, it was reality TV-level drama. Now let's break this down a little further. The reason this blew up is because the DA and ANC are still trying to pretend they're happily sharing the same bed under the NU. But it's obvious that one is sleeping with one eye open while the other one is talking in their sleep. They don't trust each other. Every time one tries to push a policy, the other one threatens to burn the house down. Take the NHI, the National Health Insurance. It's the ANC's golden child. They believe it's the answer to healthcare inequality. The DA, they want nothing to do with it. And Mbalula made it crystal clear, the NHI is not going anywhere. It's here to stay. If you don't like it, he says, you know where the door is. And he didn't stop there. He said the same about the BELA Bill, which, if you don't know, is about overhauling basic education laws. The DA's been moaning about it, but Mbalula was like, too bad. It's happening. Deal with it. Now, let's zoom out and talk about the implications of all this. First of all, this GNU was always a weird experiment. You've got political parties with totally different ideologies trying to run a country together like a dysfunctional family at Sunday lunch. The ANC wants to centralize social services and pass bills like the NHI and BELA, and the DA wants to privatize almost everything and run government like a business. It was always a ticking time bomb. Mbalula's outburst might seem impulsive, but honestly, it's strategic. The ANC is under pressure. Internally, it's dealing with fractures. Externally, it's trying to keep a coalition together with a party that keeps throwing shade in parliament and dragging its feet on key policies. So, what does the ANC do? They draw a line in the sand. Mbalula's dare to the DA to leave the NU is the ANC testing whether the DA is bluffing. And if the DA blinks, the ANC will use that to rally its base and say, look, we tried. They walked away. Let's not forget how the DA has been behaving lately. They've been giving serious passive-aggressive vibes, complaining in the media, posting shady tweets, accusing the ANC of pushing undemocratic legislation. But when Mbalula dared them to walk, they went quiet. You'd expect a dramatic resignation letter or at least a press conference, but no. Just awkward silence and side eyes. And here's the thing, this entire conflict isn't just about political ideology. It's about control. The ANC doesn't want to be held hostage by its coalition partners. And the DA doesn't want to be steamrolled by ANC majority politics. They both want to be the alpha in the relationship. And right now, Mbalula's making it clear that the ANC still sees itself as the big boss in the room. But let's talk about what this means for ordinary South Africans. For you and me, all this back and forth, this drama, these public spats, they're not just sound bites. They're delaying real progress. While the parties fight over who introduced what and who should leave, healthcare still needs fixing. Education reforms are still pending. The economy's still hanging by a thread. This is why South Africans are frustrated. We want leadership, not theatrics. We want policy, not personality clashes. And while Mbalula may have delivered one of the most meme-worthy briefings of the year, people are wondering whether this is all part of the ANC's strategy or just political ego spiraling out of control. Now, let's get back to the NU. If the DA actually leaves, like, for real, what happens next? Well, that depends. If the ANC can form a new alliance with smaller parties like the F or the IFP, they might be able to continue governing without the DA. But it'll be messy. And if they can't, South Africa could be headed for a snap election. Imagine that. Another election season. Posters, rallies, fake promises, again. But here's the twist. Some people actually think Mbalula's outburst was a warning shot, not just to the DA, but to the rest of the ANC too. Like, hey, we need to stop tiptoeing and start asserting our policies. It's like he's saying the ANC can't afford to water down its agenda just to please coalition partners. And let's be honest, Mbalula might be one of the few politicians who knows how to use political drama to his advantage. He knows how to capture attention. Whether it's with spicy tweets, bold statements, or wild metaphors, he keeps the spotlight on himself and the ANC. And in this era of politics, where perception can be more powerful than policy, that's a useful skill. But here's the question we all have to ask. Will the DA call Mbalula's bluff? Or will they stay and try to fight from within? Will this new survive the year? Or is this the beginning of the end? Whatever happens, one thing is for sure, South African politics just got a whole lot more interesting. The gloves are off, the jabs are flying, and Fikile Mbalula just threw the first punch. Now we wait to see if the DA punches back or quietly walks out the ring. And as for us, we've got front row seats to the drama. So grab your popcorn, keep your eye on the headlines, and don't blink, because this is one political showdown you won't want to miss. Let me know your thoughts down below. Is the new on its last legs? Was Mbalula right to dare the DA? And do you think Helen Zille really invented public-private partnerships, or is she just out here claiming credit for everything like she's the Beyoncé of politics? Let's talk.